Alright, good morning, guys. Alright, so let's look at what's happening today after the Martin Luther King holiday on the S&P 500 and the NQ. Okay, so we're still trading in the same range. We're filling up all these pockets of low volume. The short session was very small as far as range goes. Not much happened. And then as soon as we opened yesterday, we started dropping. And if you see it here, we dropped below the 20-day moving average. And this is I marked my weekly pivot points as a range because I use the RTH and the extended hours, so I mark it as a range. And when it's a big range like this, I find that there's a lot of two-sided price action, so we go back and forth until the market decides which way it wants to go. Does it want to go below the pivot, above the pivot? So you can see overnight we've been trading below it, then above it, then below it, then above it. And now we're going back inside this range. So also the 20-day moving average here. We found some support at Thursday's value area low. We tested it and we bounced back up. So I'm thinking that if we're able to hold this low volume area at 47.96, we're gonna attempt to get back to the higher side of value, right? Which as of now, it's kind of hard to tell because it's like a multi-distribution profile. So does the market want to make it into one big distribution, or is it gonna be still trading and treating this as separate distributions? So it's just a matter of time and see which way how these things are gonna develop. But so far, you have to keep looking at these low volume areas, right? Do we fill them up and make this area a big distribution and this another one, or does this become like a huge range and we still trading in this range? There's a clear resistance at this area at 25-ish. We tried getting above this area several times last week, and every time we find strong sellers, and this is probably what driving this move down. Now, does that mean that we break this area and we go lower? No, it's just like this is where some sellers are, and so far we're still in the same range, right? It's a pretty big range, but there's a clear, even though this is multi-distribution, there's a clear separation here for this 1, 2, 3 sessions at 72.68, between 72 and 68, right? I have this area where the 21 exponential moving averages. So this needs to support, because if it doesn't, then we're gonna go to the 56 high volume node and probably test the bottom side of this range. And like I kept saying before, below this there's a lot of poor structure to clean up. So but for now, this is the range. If we fail to move below this area, we're gonna this is becoming a magnet at 17. But again, you can see this high positive delta at 48.04 and a quarter, I think it is. And this is now on a move up. This is gonna act as resistance until these positions get adjusted and out of the way, and then this is still the magnet. It's Tuesday after holiday, so I expect a lot of some back and forth action. Also, we have earnings. We have Goldman Sachs at 9:30, their earning call. We have the Fed Waller speaking at 11. We have some 6 months and 3 month bill auction. So that's what we have for now. So I'll be looking at, we're opening outside Friday's range, but inside of this range, right? So it's a gap, it's a true gap with inventory mostly short. So I do expect some inventory correction. I don't know how much we're gonna get, but see if we can close at least the gap to Thursday's low at 48.02. As far as Nasdaq goes, let's see Nasdaq and Q. It's kind of similar. We also tested Thursday's value area low, and found support, and then came back above the 20-day moving average. We have some resistance here, but we keep going back and forth through this area, so doesn't seem to be that strong. But if we break above this 16,920, then we can target 16,960, which is the 20-day point of control. Same thing, there's some strong support here at the 17,000 area, a little bit below that, but if we need to get above all this 17,000 area in order for us to be able to retest these highs. So again, some resistance on 16,910. In the event that this holds, I would look for this area at 16,825, which is a high volume node. And there's, again, see if the overnight lows hold, but if they don't, then 16,780 would be the next target. And then, below that, we have the previous all-time high that we keep retesting. So if that doesn't hold, then the point of control here, or the high volume node, is 16,575, which I would expect to be tested on a move down once we take the signal prints at 16,635-ish. Let's see what else we can look at. I think that's pretty much it. I think that I would wait a little bit to see how things develop once the bell rings, and see if we can take this, if we can fill the gap, and then monitor to how the reaction is. So far, AD/SPD is looking bearish. Ticks are negative the whole morning. If you see, the internals are looking bearish on both ends, on NQ and ES. So we have to see if this becomes attracts more sellers during the RTH session, or this just like it's a pullback and they buy it all back and bring it higher again. Okay, good luck.